Yeah.
All right. Any questions of that before we move on to 16?
No. Okay.
Okay. All right, Ryan and Kathy both have savings accounts. Ryan has $12 in his account and plans to add $3 each week to it. So let's look at Ryan's situation. Ryan is 12 plus 3W. He has 12. He's going to add $3 each week. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kathy, on the other hand, does not have any money in her account, so that's starting out with 0, but she plans to add $5 each week. What would go here to the right of the plus for $5 each week?
5W.
5W. How many weeks will it take until they have the same amount of money? So this is a system of equations. We want to know when they're equal. So you're going to set 12 plus 3W equal to 5W. Could you solve that for us, please?
Mhm. So is it? I can add and subtract as long as they have the same variables.
So what I'm hearing is you want to subtract 3W from both sides. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because you want to get it on one side, and it doesn't matter whether it's left or right. You want to get it on one side, move to the right because you've got a number on the left already. So that's 12 equals 2W.
Yeah.
What does W equal?
6.
6. So 6 weeks. They need to work a lot harder. That's not very much money in a savings account. Not going to get you very far in life. Okay, 17 here. I'm probably gonna need a little help from you on this because when I look at this problem here, the intervals to create a histogram, so they're giving you some data. We looked at the other day, 499.15 down to 277.9. It says explain how to determine the intervals to create a histogram for the data. Every book has a little different variation on how to do that. Can you quickly look back at 62 and tell me how you guys do it? There's a few different ways. One is to take like the square root of the number of numbers. There's logarithmic. Can you quickly check that, or do you remember from?
So yeah, the lesson is called Displaying Data in Stem and Leaf Plots and Histograms. So I mean, like how does it create a histogram in this one?
You have to create these buckets, and like a bucket might be, for example, 200 to 300. Okay, and the number of buckets dictates the width of the buckets. And if you're not told how many intervals to create, you have to figure that on your own. And there's an algorithm certain books use, like it's the square root of, I was trying to count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like some books would say four bins because there's 16 numbers. You take the square root of 16, four bins. That's what I'm kind of looking for you to tell me, because I don't know what your book has in there. And if you're not sure, we'll just go with 4 bins.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I understand right, then yeah, it uses like a square root.
Okay.
It's
And then
weird,
go ahead.
because like the lesson, like they have like a lab. It's all about like the TI calculators, like, and they have little like instructions of how to use them, and we don't use those. So
Yeah. I was about to say, well, I could show you on the calculator, but this doesn't have it. Okay, let's just make it really, really simple here. You're roughly going from I'm gonna see, I want to make this 5 bins because it's a little bit easier. Let's go 275 to 325 to 375 to 425 to 475. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 525. And think of these as like, these are the bins.
Uh-huh.
And we're just going to put a check mark or a tally next to the, in the ones where each value. So like 277, 292, 302, 315, they're all going to fall in this first one here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 that go in there. And then for the next bin, 325, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 go in this interval. Then we're looking 375 to 425. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 1.
Mhm.
Okay, so for that's not the histogram, that's just the count. So to do your actual histogram, you want to make it a little nicer here. And you want to make columns. So like think of this as being 4 high, 6 high for the next one, 4 high, 1 high, and 1 high. And sometimes you put the count on top. And then
Mhm.
you need the interval down here on the bottom. Like that.
Mhm.
That's part B, by the way, sorry. Part A was to explain how to determine the number of intervals. That's what I'm not sure about. We just went with 5.
Five, 425, 475, 525. Okay. And then
So part
C
C,
is a
the histogram is better. The reason is that the stem and leaf is better for data values close together. So this one has a lot of separation between like the last couple. So like here and here, let me go back, like see how there's a lot of distance between 499 and 429. There'd be a lot of gaps in your stem and leaf plot. So if we have time at the end, I'll put this data into a software and show you the results.
All right.
Um,
All right. Not bad.
so we'll go to 18 next. Is that
Yeah.
okay? All right. Are we going all the way through the end of this page? 19 and 20?
Yeah, 19 and 20.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. All right. Write the equation of the line graphed in slope intercept form. So first thing is you want to be careful here. These are increments of 2 and 2, not 1 and 1. That's really important because if you want to calculate, for example, the slope, which is rise over run, you want to be careful that you get the right measurements there. So like from this point up here, you're going down and right, but you're going down 6 and then right 4. Now, it just so happens that it would work out okay if you were doing this with ones, but you want to be careful with that on
So, okay.
So the slope here is -3/2. Okay. And that's the first thing that you need here. You need y equals mx plus b
Okay, sorry. I had to cut out for a second,
It's
but
okay. So your slope is M. That's the M value. And then we got to get the B value, which we'll get from the graph.
uh-huh. Okay, so y equals -3/2 x plus 5.
It's not going up by 1. It's going up by 2.
Oh yeah, still 6.
6. Yes. There you go.
Okay.
All right, 19. Let me know when you're ready for us to move on to that.
Yeah.
All right. Trey is making an investment of X minus $11. The rate of interest on the investment is X minus 11%. What is the interest gained after 1 year? Hint, interest equals principal times rate times time. So what they're trying to tell you here is that there's 3 variables: principal, rate, and time. The time is probably the easiest. It's 1 year. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So that's X minus 11 for the principal. And then the rate is also X minus 11. But because it's as a percent, like let's just say it's 40%, we don't use percentages in math calculations. We convert those to decimals like we were doing the other day. So you have to take your rate here, your percent, and divide it by 100.
Oh.
Right? Because we don't know what it is, but like let's just say it's 40%. We wouldn't work with that. We would work with 40 divided by 100.
Uh-huh. Like 0.4.
Well, it would be, yeah, it would become 0.4, but in terms of like what we've got over here, we don't know what it actually is. It's just, it's like you're waiting to find out the value of X to do this. So I know this is awkward, it's weird, but is it okay? Can we continue with this problem?
Yeah.
Okay, so principal rate times time, PRT, your principal is X minus 11.
Mhm.
Your rate is X minus 11 divided by 100, and your time is 1.
Mhm. Can we simplify the x minus 11? Like,
What I would do here is probably just go X minus 11 squared over 100 and leave it like that.
okay. Yeah, makes sense.
And there's nothing to do beyond this
Mhm.
here. All right,
Okay.
so number 20, we can move to whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go.
All right, the school is constructing a new gym. They want a 12-foot wide tile border around the outside edge of the square court. And the total side length is 7x. Write a polynomial for the area of the court, not including the tile border.
Write a polynomial for the area
Tile.
including the border.
All right, one of the things I'm struggling with is what they mean by total side length. If that's all the sides, or is that
Like,
is that meant to represent like all 4 sides, or is it one side? I tend to think it means all 4 sides.
yeah.
Okay, so let's start from the outside in.
Well, it might be talking about just like the total of that specific, or like of the side there, but it's weird. It's worded really strange.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take my best guess at this, and if I'm wrong, you can blame me for it. So I'm gonna assume that what they mean is that the outermost edge all add up to 7x.
Uh-huh.
So that means that if we take 7x and divide it by 4, that's
The side. Like,
yeah, that's the side. So 1.75x or 7/4x. I'm not sure which is better. Like that. Okay.
then 12 is on the outside, like the border.
So they're saying that there's 12 there, but there's also 12 there. So the inside one,
I bet.
the inside one here, I'm going to draw this off to the side here because it's a little bit unclear, is like, let's take the vertical one here. It's the inside edge is the outside edge minus 12 minus 12.
Uh-huh.
So this one is 7/4x minus 12 minus 12.
Yeah.
The one up above here is the same thing because going horizontally, you got that you're subtracting 12 twice. You're subtracting here, 7/4x minus 12 minus 12. And that's the one we're trying to find the area of.
Uh-huh. So
So simplified, it's 7/4x minus 24.
uh-huh. And we're
And the
only
area,
trying to,
sorry.
like, we're only trying to get the polynomial.
Yeah, so the area of the square is base times height,
Uh-huh.
which is 7/4x minus 24 times 7/4x minus 24.
Uh-huh.
And question is, do we need to FOIL this? What do you think? Is that required?
I don't think so. I mean,
So we can, I'm just asking.
oh. I don't, like, I mean, no, I don't think so because it's
Okay.
only really telling you the,
Okay. Maybe ask before you turn that in.
Yeah.
Not really sure. Okay, so we're on to I think you've got this practice. It says practice, find the LCM. Is that what you'd like us to work on next?
think so. Does it say 64?
It does not say, you mean page?
Oh yeah, find the LCM. I did the first two already.
Oh, good. Do you want me to check them or do you feel like you've got the correct answers?
Well, I'm pretty sure I did them with my teacher, so we can go on to 3.
All right, let's do it. All right. Tell whether each equation shows inverse variation. So inverse variation is k, which is a number, divided by x. So the variable's on the bottom.
Yeah. So this does,
So the second one is yes.
or the, yeah, second.
First one is no. The first one is actually direct variation. And just to be clear, they're not always, it's not like they're always one's direct and one's inverse. Like there could be neither.
All right.
Okay, number 5.
Mhm.
All right, so when it says estimate, does that mean like you truly can estimate, or do you have to actually get the answer perfect?
Nah, it means estimate.
Okay, so y varies inversely as x. And they give you x and y. So they say y is 24 when x is 99. So the reason they want you to estimate here is they probably want you to say this number on the bottom is really 100 because multiplying by 99 isn't great, even though you can do it. I think that's what they're trying to imply, because k would be 24 times 99, which is about, it's about 2400.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you find K, you rewrite the equation. And then you're either given Y to find X or X to find Y. In this case, they give you X. And so here you can cancel out the zeros. 240 over 5. If you think of, I'm not sure if you ever counted nickels, but there's 20 nickels or 5 cents
Yeah.
in a dollar. So that's 20 plus 20, and then there's 8 nickels and 40. That's how you do it by hand. Another way is to double the number on top without the zero. Bunch of ways to do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do number 8.
Or 6.
6. It's amazing. I don't know why I do that. I'm like, yeah, I want to go to just completely bypass certain problems. Here we go. All right, what is the minimum and maximum number of books in this list? You should be able to do that. Tell me the min and the max here.
Minimum is 1, the maximum is 20.
Yes. I won't ask you if you like to read.
I like reading.
Reading's amazing. I read at least one book a month. It's probably the best thing for you when you get at any age. So much good knowledge out there.
What's your favorite book?
I read a lot of business books. So, I mean, if you ever need a recommendation, I mean, I will give you books that will blow your mind away. If
Cool.
you're into that stuff. Have you ever heard of Lone Survivor?
Lone Survivor, maybe.
It's about the SEAL team over in Afghanistan in the early 2000s. It's like nonstop action book. It's pretty intense when you read it. But I got tons of book recommendations if you ever want them. So we'll go another 5 minutes here. See if we can get a couple more in here. The cost of a cell phone plan includes a monthly fee plus a charge per minute. Boy, thank goodness we don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
So the charge for 200 minutes is 50. The charge for 350 minutes is 57.5. My question for you is, which is the input, which is the output? Is it dollars to minutes or minutes to dollars?
Minutes to dollars.
That's right. So your input is minutes, your output is dollars, X and Y. So that gives you the ordered pairs here, 200, comma 50. Actually, let me put that right in the middle. 350, 57.5. Go ahead and calculate the, well, we're just short on time here. So 57.5 minus 50 over 350 minus 200. So that's 7.5 out of 150. This ends up being, so you can do some things for like doubling both numbers, which you wouldn't normally think to do, but then it works out a lot nicer because you can see that, oh yeah, 15 actually goes into 300. It's 1 out of 20 or 0.05. Okay, so we have Y equals 0.05x plus B. I'll use the first equation, 50 equals 0.05 times 200 plus B. So kind of like that nickel example again, this ends up being, excuse me, half of this number, or you want to use your nickel analogy, 10 times 20, so 10. So B ends up being 40.
Yeah.
So your cost, which is Y, is 0.05 X plus 40. So you have to answer a couple of questions here. It says, how much is the monthly fee? How much is the cost charge per minute? One's the slope, one's the intercept there.
How much is the monthly fee and how much is the charge per minute? So Yeah,
Charge per minute's always the rate. Rate is the slope. Slope is the slope. Fee is the one-time thing you got there. All right. We guess we got enough time to do 8 and 9. I'll just do 8 real quick.
Mhm.
All right, so find the product. You do have to write it out as b plus 2 times b plus 2. And then you have to FOIL this. So FOIL stands for first times the first, b times b is b squared. Then the outer b times 2, 2b, then the inner 2b, and then the last, which is 2 times 2 or 4. So b squared plus 4b plus 4.
Mhm.
All right, so if you want to try 9 real quick, I can check your answer.
6 minus 8 is 2. First. Outer. Inner. And last. Yeah, so I got, I think x squared plus 2x
Minus 8x.
negative 8x plus negative 16.
Good. These become x squared minus 6x minus 16.
Yeah.
All right, so we do unfortunately have to stop here.